That's right. Those are the shocking images that are coming in from Patna, a city underwater. The great city of Patliputra finds itself today underwater. Now, 29 people have lost their lives, and in flood-affected incidents, many more are caught in the unceasing rains. The deluge in Patna is seen to be its worst since 1975. A city is collapsing. It's our top story and our ground report tonight.
When nature strikes, it does not tell between a VVIP and an Aam Aadmi. So when heavy rains left Bihar's capital Patna flooded, everyone from ministers to common men were left looking for an escape route. Bihar Deputy Chief Minister Sushil Modi and his family were stuck in a waterlogged house for 3 days. Help reached them on Monday. His family was among the 26,000 rescued so far in the city. Sushil Modi was not alone. BJP leader Rajiv Pratap Rudy, JDU's Ajay Alok, and Union Minister Ramvilas Paswan all found their houses submerged in water.
Right now we are at the Sri Krishna Puri police station, and very difficult to understand that what kind of situation is prevailing here, because you see here, wherever you see in and around this police station, there is water and water. And the state of affairs is such that this rainwater has also entered the police station.
Roads have turned into rivers. People have no option but to wade through knee-deep water. Tractors and bulldozers are the only option for transport.
सरकार की तरफ से कुछ नहीं देखा जा रहा है। हम लोग अपने घर से सारा सामान गाड़ी में रख के टोचन करा के जा रहे हैं। गाड़ी का भी स्थिति आप देख सकते हैं।
एग्जाम देने के लिए डीआरडीओ का पीसी कॉलोनी में बहुत पानी होने कारण हम लोग जाने में बहुत सारा दिक्कत हो रहा है। कैंसिल भी नहीं हो पाया है, मैसेज भी नहीं किया है, मैसेज भी नहीं हुआ है।
With several clinics and hospitals also underwater, Bihar is staring at a health scare. The state's second largest hospital, for instance, is badly hit by the waterlogging.
अभी तो बहुत लेवल था, ये तो कम हो गया है। बहुत लेवल था, पूरा रूम डूब चुका है मेरा, एंड बहुत प्रॉब्लम हो रही है। एंड प्रॉब्लम है पीछे बहुत सारा पानी है और उससे कम नहीं हो रहा है, और ये पूरा वाटर लॉक्ड एरिया है।
Over 24 districts in the state have been battered by heavy rains. Schools are shut till Tuesday. There is a ray of hope, however, because the Met Department says rains will stop in the next 24 hours. And when that happens, the Nitish Kumar government, and for that matter, even the centre, will have serious soul-searching to do. Patna is just a symptom of a bigger ailment, that of India's crumbling urban infrastructure. With Sujit Jha, Rohit Kumar Singh and Chitra Tripathi in Patna, Bureau Report, India Today.
And this is not just the story of Bihar alone. Many of our so-called smart cities, cities that are supposed to get sustainable infrastructure over time, have crumbled in the first half of 2019. Pune, another smart city, as per the government's project, has witnessed flash floods and a collapsing infrastructure only last week. Mumbai last month, Chennai, of course, a couple of years ago. All these cities affected by terrible floods, and you can see in every case similar scenes across the country, from Patna to Pune to Chennai to Mumbai. Let's raise some big questions tonight. Smart cities or sinking cities? Has the smart city mission been found wanting? Is the real problem the problem of drainage? Indian cities, are they becoming flood prone? Is the real problem the unplanned development that haunts cities? Are cities like Patna simply stuck in legacy issues as old ancient cities? Some of the questions we'll raise tonight. And as Patna becomes the latest Indian city underwater, I'm joined by Rajiv Pratap Rudy, senior BJP MP and MP from Bihar. Also Leo Saldana joins me, environmentalist and town planner. I'm also joined by Dikshu Kukreja, urban planner and architect. I appreciate all of you joining us at the moment. Rajiv Pratap Rudy, seeing those images today in Patna, should I say this is a smart city or a sinking city? Is Patna the latest Indian sinking city?
Well, Rajdeep, if I ask you the same question, recently there was a lot of rains in Mumbai. Is Mumbai a smart city or a sinking city? When the sea level is high and when the entire city of Mumbai, it rains torrentially and all the streets are jammed. Is it Mumbai a smart city or a sinking city?
It's a sinking city.
Today it's not the situation of a smart city or a sinking city. Patna is an old city, and if, a man, can you listen when you have coined your words and you can do your redo and retake? Let me complete my sentence. Yes, it is sinking because Patna has been like a saucer surrounded by 3 rivers. And today when the rivers are in spate, Ganga is at high level and it has rained. And I hope you have been following what is happening in Patna, that it has rained for 5 days. It's not normal in the state of Bihar. When the Dashara starts, on the first day of Dashara, it has been raining, and it happens in the month of October. So it has rained and still raining till this date, where it was something which we had never seen in Bihar. Having said that, a situation has arisen in Patna, where most of the low-lying areas in the city of Patna, which is like a saucer, is denuded completely. Having said that, it's of course a sad situation there. It's a difficult situation there.
Mr. Rudy, Mr. Rudy, I accept. Mr. Rudy, just a minute.
Happened in Patna earlier.
Mr. Rudy, I accept your point that there is a topographical
what I
problem.
want to say now
no, sir, I accept your topographical problem, but do you also concede that drainage, for example, is non-existent? Now, a smart city, for example, is supposed to have adequate water supply, assured electricity supply, sanitation, waste management, urban mobility and public transport, affordable housing, robust IT connectivity and good governance. Which of these factors does Patna have today? And in addition, do you agree it has a non-existent drainage system?
Yeah, yes, I agree to you. I think you have put out an index what a good city like. So if you talk like a smart city, if it is like something which is coming in New Raipur or maybe in Vijayanagar and other places, we can talk. But Patna is a 100-year-old city and people have lived here before they made streets or drainage. Now it is being done up, and we did not have any complaint about Patna 10 days ago when it did not rain. And if it has rained, it had rained normally, there was no complaint. It's not that this is the only rain which has happened in Patna in last 5 days. It has been raining in the season. We did not make any complaints. It is only in the last 5 days we are making complaint because the whole city is denuded. Now you want to give a whole list of a city which is an old. And there is a difference between an old city which has to be redeveloped, where there are limitations, where there are people who are staying, the pressure of population. Patna does not have a new capital, but Patna is the whole city which has been developed. So with all these limitations, you can shut down Patna. We have limitations there. There are shortcomings there. But today is not the time when you say that this has happened because Patna is bad. This has happened because it has rained torrentially in last 5 days. This management, whatever the government does today would seem short of what the people are expecting. I agree with that.
Okay.
So please do not show down Patna. Patna is, of course, has had its own limitations. It's
Mr.
not
Rudy,
so beautiful as the places where you live. But nonetheless, it's my city. It's in passing through a tough time. It's passing through a tough time, and I understand. My house is it's underwater. I never saw this happening in my house ever. Do I complain? Because I know it's a calamity. Even in United States, when 5 people die in the floods which happened in March, US is one of the most powerful countries. China, which has got so much of it. The floods in China this year, they evacuated 3.5 lakh people. They should not be happening all this because those are places which are far advanced than Patna and Bihar.
Let me stop you, sir, for a moment.
Please,
I fully empathize. Mr. Rudy, I fully empathize. I fully empathize with your situation. The fact that large parts of the city are underwater, nature's fury. My larger point is, we've been talking over the last few years of smart cities. I'm coming back to you in a moment. I just want to go to Mr. Kukreja because Mr. Rudy makes the point of old cities, that there is an inherited legacy that a city like Patna has, surrounded on 3 sides by water. These problems are also mentioned when it comes to Mumbai. Even in Pune, where we've had flash floods. There have been reports suggesting that Pune had never seen such kind of torrential downpour. Do you believe that it is nature's fury and the inherited legacy of old cities, Mr. Kukreja?
Chennai. Don't forget Chennai.
I won't forget Chennai either. But the fact is it therefore a man-made or a natural problem?
No. So the list goes on. It's not just about Chennai or Pune or Patna. I mean, the list is endless. But the point here is, I respect the legacy and the history that Patna, or for that matter, many of our cities across the country are associated with. After all, ours is an old country with a lot of history and culture attached to it. But the point here is that we are living in the 21st century, and we expect that our citizens living in these cities are made available the best of infrastructure, and the best of technology is anyway at the tip of our hands. So today, with technology like virtual reality, artificial intelligence, digital mapping, all these things allow us to create what genuinely would be a smart city. First of all, I compliment the government for coming up with this initiative of smart cities, because it's the right step forward. I think where the lacuna is in the implementation, and I think the state governments need to come forward. The civic authorities really need to come forward to take this vision of the center, which I compliment, should be taken across our cities. So coming back to Patna, it might be an old city, but that does not allow us to live in the kind of, or see the kind of visuals you are showing today with 5 days of rain. What we need is that we are actually playing havoc with the natural environment, whether it is the lakes in Bangalore, the rivulets in Chennai, or even in that matter for the lack of missing stormwater drains or altered drains in Patna. We cannot do that. Yes, I believe development is the need. I certainly subscribe to that. But responsible development is the need of the hour, and we need to recognize that as well. And once we do that, I can assure you that the solutions for these problems that you are showing us, horrific images year after year, season after season, they will vanish. In fact, I would say, aren't we blessed in a country like India, where we have great climate? There are countries in this world where there is hardly sunshine for 2 months in a year. We get sunshine, we get abundant rainfall, we have the best of nature blessing us. All we need to do is use our intellect to be able to manifest it in a better manner.
No, but really, just a minute. When you talk of intellect, just a minute.
Solutions which can follow.
We'll come to solutions.
The bottom line is that the civic...
We'll come to solutions in a moment, but when you use the word intellect, I will use another I, which is infrastructure. Mr. Saldana, look at the infrastructure. You're from Bengaluru. Look at how it's collapsed. Look at Pune the other day. Both these cities, for example, have a lot of illegal construction, some of it coming in and around water bodies. We've seen that with the mangroves in Mumbai. In Patna too, there are accusations that illegal constructions are preventing some of the water from draining away. Let's be very clear. All Indian cities today suffer from the problem of their water bodies and their ecological resistance, in a way, to this kind of flooding disappearing. Do you agree as an environmentalist?
Apathy.
I think, one of the first points to note is that we built most of our cities against water, not with water. Be it lakes in Bangalore or rivers in Patna or somewhere else. If Patna is submerged because it's a saucer, Bangalore is sitting on a rock, and it doesn't explain why Bangalore gets flooded as well. And I think the reason for that, you are right, much of our cities are not planned democratically. Planning itself cannot be centralized. Most of planning in India is centralized, and therefore the disasters are unfolding on us as we move into an age of urbanization, which is unprecedented in human history. Now, India also has a civilizational process which is pre-Vedic, the Harappan civilization, which for 2,000 years lived by working with water flows, not working against water flows. And if Patna is submerged, I think the Bihar government should ask very clear questions on why the dams were built as they were built, because it was actually predicted that one day this will happen. And this was predicted back in the 50s itself. And the same case can be made for Chennai, for instance, where the area systems were devastated by building a huge industrial network into Sriperumbudur, which was the finest area systems, the lake system. And in Bangalore, you have the way in which we have destroyed our lakes is largely because we incentivize financialization of land, especially for electronic city and IT corridor. So we wanted to make a world-class city in enclaves, and we forgot the greater city really matters. So I think we have a mindset problem here. You cannot technologize your way out of it. I have been following the smart city from its very initiation. It is developed in the most unsmart way. I don't know why the Prime Minister pushes for it. It probably is because he wants the investment and says that this is good for India's growth and economic growth and GDP and so on. But that may be a political point. But real point is that does it really translate into good cities, inclusive cities, where everyone can live, everyone can actually have an equal chance? I don't think so. It's the rich who can buy out of this problem. The poor suffer intensely.
You know, that's really a good word to use. That actually what this country needs, Mr. Rudy, is not smart cities, but inclusive cities. Cities which actually are built in a manner where, for example, we don't have to see the scenes in Patna where particularly the poor living in many of those low-lying areas will suffer every time the drainage facilities are non-existent. I mean, you know, we can blame the rainwaters, yes. We can say that it has been unprecedented rainfall. But somewhere the inability to have a proper, modern 21st century drainage system is something that Patna's civic authorities and indeed the government will have to answer. So the smart city concept has to become more of an inclusive, good city concept. A smart city cannot only be for a few.
Well, Rajdeep, I agree with what you say, but this, if you want to criticize Patna, you can. But today, half of your debate is an academic discussion, what should be done, which should be debated, and this is a good platform to start a discussion. Because unfortunately, we as politicians or many bureaucrats, we don't think more than 15 minutes ahead. We don't think about 100 years. And those cities which have been planned, for example, Chandigarh was planned by La Corbusier. We don't talk about floods there. We don't talk about water stagnation there. So making a new building or new design is easier than to setting the old thing which has been in existence for 70 years. If the Luton's Delhi is created, we still are able to handle it because someone planned it for 100 years, and still we can manage it because those limitations were not there. But most of these cities over the years remained unplanned. They were haphazard, and today we are trying to set it right, which is very difficult. I was born in Patna, I stayed in Patna, and I have seen how Patna has become worse. It's just not a single municipality which has to do. It has to be an aggregated effort, and politicians like us must understand what is happening to cities. I feel bad at times when I see things which should not be happening. The question is the pressure of the people's thought process, what people demand and expect. They want their own streets, they are encroaching on the roads, they are making boundary walls. If the police and the authorities go to remove them, they move to the High Court stay them, they have a relief there. So every stage in a democratic process is so difficult that whatever best we can talk, and it's not that people in Patna or the intellectuals in Patna or the intellectuals across the country and my colleague architects and town planners do not, we all understand. We all understand. Today in Chapra, I am trying to put the entire facilities underground. And what the struggle which I have to go, there is one irrigation, there is road construction, there is electricity department, there is storm water, there is drainage, there is Khanua Nala. We keep on struggling with this issue. So I very much appreciate what you're saying. We need to have the smart cities. We need to have the best of brains to do of the cities. But the limitations as an administrator or as a politician, the day I say clear of this encroachment on the road in my district, I am the worst politician ever that district has seen.
No, I
am the worst man there.
No, Mr. Rudy, I take the practical problems you're bringing out.
Combination of the two, it's very difficult.
I appreciate
very difficult, but still, let's work on that.
I appreciate you're bringing out these practical problems.
I agree with what you say. We need to have better cities. We need to have better cities.
But the point I'm going to make, Mr. Kukreja, is that when there is this large amount of money which is being put, more than 2 lakh crores, which have been kept for the smart city concept, should they be better used? You said you have a solution. Give me a solution for cities like Pune, like Bangalore, like Patna. Is there one solution that fits all? Is it actually possible? Or the practical difficulties that Rajiv Pratap Rudy points out is part of the problem? We have overpopulated cities. We have cities where people will happily encroach and then complain afterwards.
So, first of all, one solution fits all, yes and no. And I must say that I agree with Mr. Rudy's practical approach to the fact that, what is the practical dilemma actually that administrators face. But having said that, I still maintain that, you know, this whole idea and whatever astronomical amounts you're referring to allocated for smart cities, I think it's an excellent move by the government, because there has to be a beginning somewhere. We need to start somewhere. It's a great
nothing has
vision.
changed.
We need to smarten up our cities.
No, but it's all, these are all fine words.
This can only
These
be
are
successful,
fine words.
Rajdeep.
Please show me one successful smart city.
No, but I'm telling.
Show me one successful smart city. Contrast that
I
with
will
Chandigarh.
show you where the
Contrast
day
that with
we
well-planned
are ready.
Chandigarh.
Yes, the day we are ready to be. No, Chandigarh, like Mr. Rudy just mentioned, it's a green field, it's a new city. So that's different vis-a-vis Patna. But the point here is, you want to see the progress will happen the day we are able to create also smart citizens. Do you realize that comparing ourselves to any other developed society, we expect the government or somebody else to do everything for us? We will not contribute in it. When he's talking about streets being encroached, why are they encroached? Why should the police only come and administer that? Why is it not socially an unacceptable phenomena, just like any other socially unacceptable phenomena of harassment or anything else can be? This is public harassment too. So I feel the solution is, solution number one, citizens need to empower themselves. They need to realize that these kind of phenomena are unacceptable. Communities have to realize that they should not allow somebody to encroach upon their park, encroach upon the stormwater drain. Why are we waiting for someone else to solve our problem?
Okay.
This does not happen in other countries. So we need to start solving these things ourselves, and then yes, there is the administration to support us. Having said that, I still maintain that there is an element of civic apathy where we wait till the last minute. Now, for example, we are reeling under floods in Patna. I can predict now, which everybody else knows as common sense, this is going to follow by some kind of disease epidemic. It's going to happen. Are our civic authorities preparing ourselves for that? Or right now, we are only going to look at this problem staring in our face, which is floods. So this kind of future thinking, future planning, if we start doing that, it's fine. And as far as the smart city, I still maintain it's a great idea, but I believe the states and cities are not doing it.
Mr. Kukreja says,
to make it successful, you want the solution? I think the solution lies in a public-private partnership.
Okay.
The two will need to come together.
You made your point.
We can't just expect the government to do it alone.
Mr. Saldana, do you agree with what Mr. Kukreja says? A public-private partnership?
I agree with some parts of what he's saying, but I also disagree with the pitch on technology and private-public partnership, because I don't think this is a private sector which is going to bail us out. Private sector will only do it if there is profitable ventures, and they're not going to do charity. That said, I think the answer is lying within the Constitution. In 1992, a major amendment took place to ensure that our cities were functional, were planned ground up, were planned with keeping in mind river courses, natural resources, and those type of dimensions, and where democratic planning would take place. What we have done is we have basically thrown it into the dustbin. We have not, integrated into regular planning. And then we have a Delhi-centric idea called a smart city. As I said earlier, this was a few bureaucrats sitting in Delhi and promoting what they thought was smart city. In fact, if you look at their earlier minutes, they'll say they don't know what smart cities are. And so they just pulled some values together. So this is the result of 7 or 8 years of smart city investment. And then we can imagine when 2 lakh crores is invested, what kind of disasters they are going to implement. So my real simple solution for that is we need to build climate resilient cities, and that you cannot build top down. You have to build it bottom up. And it's possible by only ensuring that every city has its ward committees functional, every city has its metropolitan or district planning committees functional, every corporator and elected representatives held accountable every month. We have made it happen in Bangalore by going to court and ensuring that every month the corporator comes and answers questions of the public. We're also trying to do that now at the district, at the metropolitan level. Now, if you do not acknowledge that this is the only way out of a very, very complex problem, it requires a complex response, and we must think of extreme weather events as a very, very serious warning sign. Patna getting 5 days of incessant rainfall well after the monsoon is supposed to have tapered off is a very serious indicator of the kind of shifts that are taking place in weather patterns.
Okay, let's leave it there. Let's leave it there. I think the fact is, at the end of the day, that it's taken those images of Patna flooded.
I just want to make one point here.
I have 30 seconds, very quickly. Very, very quickly, sir.
Very quickly. we are discussing a serious issue, but do you realize the examples that we set? Delhi, capital of this country, and we are now planning to regularize unauthorized colonies. What is it going to lead to? The similar kind of disasters we are discussing.
Okay.
So why do we allow this to be accepted in the first place? How can we regularize unauthorized colonies?
But that's happening in
examples.
I just want to put on record. I just want to put on record.
Somebody needs to recognize that.
Yes, Mr. Rudy, you want to put on record. What do you want to put on record?
10 seconds. 10 seconds. I just want to put it on record. You see, it's an unprecedented situation in Patna. The government is doing as much as it can, and much can yet be done. Everyone is working in that. We stand by the people of Patna. I am a Patnaite and Bihari. So we understand much thing, and I think this will give the reasons to the administrators in Patna.
Will it wake up government apathy? Mr. Rudy, will it wake up the government from its apathy? Do you believe, Mr. Rudy, you've been in politics long enough, do you believe that it will wake up the government from its apathy?
It gives a point of debate.
This whole notion,
in governance,
where are the civic authorities?
It gives a,
where are the civic authorities?
It gives a point of debate and understanding. I'm sure they will, I'm sure.
You believe this is a wake up?
You see, they are not so insensitive as we consider it on a TV platform.
Okay.
They try their best. We need a vision. We need a vision to put for the state of Bihar. Possibly this time the Chief Minister will see to it. It will happen.
Okay, well, Nitish Kumar, his government, and indeed every state government in a way is under test. Thank you all very much for joining me. Smart cities or sinking cities. My take then, it may be unfair to blame the smart city idea for our sinking cities. After all, the waterlogging woes of cities like Patna, Mumbai, many others predate the smart city concept. What is true though is that the hundreds of crores being spent on tech-driven smart city solutions are really no solution to the crisis of our metros. The real crisis is one of urban governance, especially local level municipal governance. Challenges like the state of stormwater drainage systems in most Indian cities have been ignored for much too long. Many of our cities still function with archaic drainage systems from a colonial era. Encroachments and illegal constructions have made the problem only worse. Which local politician is willing to take a stand against illegal colonies that have mushroomed across our cities? How many leaders will take on the builder mafia, which is allowed to construct in eco-sensitive zones? But why blame the netas alone? How many citizens will join public movements against the pillaging of our cities? Citizen apathy, corrupt politicians, compromised bureaucrats are a deadly combination that is destroying our cities. Each flood like the one in Patna is a wake-up call. My fear that it is too late to wake up a slumbering municipal system. Till the next monsoon then, we can only rub our hands in despair. Meanwhile, listening to our debate